If you don't like the changes that we've made, I say the door is open and you can leave.
Mr. Clarkson, could I ask you just to calm down? And your continued presence here has constituted a breach of the peace. So therefore, I'm also arresting you.
When news broke, almost Jeremy Clarkson's charged capture, the country was cleared out, shocked, but what genuinely set the web on fire was Elon Musk's unforeseen association. Musk didn't fair loan his bolster to Clarkson, he utilized the minute to convey a strong message. Almost the state of administration within the UK beneath Keir Starmer, this story isn't close to celebrity dramatization. It's approximately a brewing open dissatisfaction that's bubbling over. Take a minute to like this video and subscribe to the channel to Together, we are able bring the altar the UK frantically needs. Jeremy Clarkson, a family title within the UK and past is known for his blunt identity and disputable conclusions over a long time. He's been no stranger to open examination, but this time, things took a stunning turn.
Hello Jeremy, how are you? Now, why are you here today, Jeremy?
Well, I thought I'd do a bit of Christmas shopping, but it's all gone a bit wrong.
Well, you hear what?
You're one of the farmers. What are you going to say to them?
Don't get it. I'm learning my lesson about that kind of thing.
Jay reports of his charged capture sent swells over the media, clearing out both his fans and pundits in doubt. What might Clarkson, a figure synonymous with British humor and versatility, have done to conclusion up in such a circumstance, whereas the subtle elements of the capture stay vague? One thing got to be apparent, and nearly promptly, this was no standard celebrity outrage. The timing, the circumstances, and the aftermath pointed to something much bigger than Clarkson himself.
I'm here to support the farmers. It's that simple. So they need all the help they can get, really.
But you oppose what the government's proposing?
Oh God, yes. I mean, as I've said in the past, if she'd have wanted to take out the likes of James Dyson and investment bankers and so on, she would have used a sniper's rifle. But she's used a blunderbuss and she's hit all this lot.
As the media free-for-all unfurled, the highlight turned to an astounding figure, Elon Musk. Known for his unusual, however calculated intercessions, Musk entered the discussion in a way that no one anticipated. Elon Musk isn't fair. A tech, very rich person, he's a worldwide symbol of free discourse and development. So when he ventured into comment on Clarkson's circumstance, individuals paid consideration. Musk didn't mince his words. He freely criticized what he saw as an alarming drift within the UK, the quiet of candid people.
I'm your defense. You do not mention.
People have been given prison sentences in the UK for social media posts where there was no explicit link to actual violence, but they just said it encouraged violence. I'm like, well, did anyone actually do anything as a result of that?
But Musk wasn't simply protecting a companion. He was spotlighting a more profound issuist state of authority beneath Keir Starmer. Musk's words reverberated profoundly when governments begin rebuffing those who talk their minds. It's a sign that something's profoundly off base for Musk Clarkson. Spoken to more than a questionable TV identity, he symbolized the everman, somebody who wasn't anxious to talk his truth indeed, in case it unsettled plumes.
So what do you think of Jeremy Clarkson?
And I've actually enjoyed a lot of his shows, so it's not as though I just hate Top Gear or anything. He can be very funny and irreverent.
Musk's choice to adjust himself with Clarkson was a strong move that reverberated with millions who feel essentially unheard in today's political climate. In the blink of an eye, after news of Clarkson's capture broke, Musk was seen with Clarkson sharing a half-quart of Hawkstone Elgar, Clarkson's possessed lager. The two were spotted in a calm corner of a British bar, their camaraderie discernible.
I'm very sensitive to the taste of bitter, bitter tastes beer. Beer tastes bitter.
Unlikely to like this beer. Let's see what happens.
Pretty good?
As beer goes,
For Musk, who once in a while drinks beer, the minute was noteworthy, it's beautiful. Great, Musk commented, raising his glass with an uncommon grin. Clarkson, ever the humorist, joked, well indeed, a virtuoso should get it right. In some cases the swarm chuckled, but the fundamental message wasn't misplaced on anybody. This was an open show of solidarity.
And let me also say to large social media companies and those who run them, violent disorder clearly whipped up online, that is also a crime. It's happening on your premises, and the law must be upheld everywhere. That is the single most important duty of government. Service rests on security, and we will take all necessary action to keep our streets safe.
That point wasn't fair. A casual signal in case was image of resistance against a framework that numerous accept is smothering distinction and expression, Clarkson didn't hold back. Either his announcement that Keir Starmer was prohibited from going by his cultivate or bar might have been lighthearted, but it carried the weight of a developing open estimation disappointment with the political first class. Elon Musk's impact extends distant past innovation. His social media nearness alone can touch off worldwide wrangles about. And this time, Musk utilized his stage to require coordinate point at the UK's political authority.
Mr. Speaker, if he wants to know what Conservatives would do, he should resign and find out. Mr. Speaker, until then, I'm the one asking the questions. There's a petition out there, 2 million people asking him to go. He's the one who doesn't know. He's the one who doesn't know how things work. It is not government that creates growth, Mr. Speaker, it is business. His employment secretary, I don't see her here, she wants more young people in work. But businesses say they are cutting jobs because of the Chancellor's budget.
In an arrangement of tweets, Musk communicated his disappointment with what he portrayed as the inadequacy and limitation of the current government. He pointed to particular issues from the cultivating emergency to rising charges and called out Keir Starmer's authority for coming up short to address the concerns of conventional Britain. One tweet in specific caught the public's consideration. A government that prioritizes bureaucracy over individuals is destined to fall flat. Britain merits superior.
I believe in freedom.
Yeah, I've noticed.
America's supposed to be the land of liberty. Freedom and opportunity. So that we try to, as much as possible, maximize people's individual liberty, and that we try to be a country where you succeed based on your talent and hard work.
This articulation started a viral discussion with thousands of retweets and comments reverberating Musk. Opinion ranchers, retired people, and laborers chimed in, sharing their possessed stories of battle beneath Starmer's government. Musk's words got to be an energizing cry for those who have long felt overlooked by the political first class. At the heart of this control lies a community that feels surrendered. Britain's agriculturists...
It was, as I understand it, it was a very rushed last-minute decision. And I think, we all make mistakes in life, and I think it's time for them to say, you know what, we've cocked this one up a bit and back down. That's my view.
Are you guys here today?
Well, we've got to stand up to the Treasury over this awful, hideous tax. People here today have come from all across the country. The numbers are growing. The weather is pretty frightful, but these are the conditions that farmers work in on a daily basis.
For eras, cultivating has been the spine of the nation's economy and culture. However, nowadays, these dedicated people are confronting challenges that debilitate their exceptionally survival beneath Stam's administration. Guarantees to back agriculturists have fallen level legacy assessed changes, which were gathered to target, as it were, the wealthiest, are presently affecting thousands of family-run ranches. These approaches are making it about inconceivable for agriculturists to pass down their arrive to future eras.
And under this Labour government, it's only going one way, and that's south. Until that maniac Starmer is no longer in number 10, we are in serious, serious trouble. He's lied to everybody in his manifesto.
A wave of challenges that saw ranchers braving unforgiving weed to request activity, but their supplications have generally been met with hush. Numerous feel that the government is more centered on conciliating corporate interests than tending to the requirements of provincial communities. It's not fair. Agriculturists who are feeling the strain, retired people, laborers, and youthful individuals over the UK are developing progressively frustrated with the state of the country. A request calling for unused administration has amassed over 2.5 million marks, reflecting a far-reaching crave for alters.
Tonight, a petition was launched calling for a general election on the basis that Labour have broken promises and done things they never ever said they'd do. Its kind of trust is breaking down. Well, unbelievably, it's already on 750,000 signatures. Even Elon Musk has been talking about it.
But Keir Starmer's reaction has, as it were, developed the isolate by expelling the concerns of millions. He has distanced a critical parcel of the populace. The developing sense of dissatisfaction isn't around legislative issues. It's around feeling disregarded and underestimated. Elon Musk's mediation has appeared a highlight on these issues, turning a celebrity embarrassment into a national discussion. His tweets and open appearances have brought universal consideration to a government that numerous accept as falling flat its individuals together. Jeremy Clarkson and Elon Musk have ended up improbable images of resistance.
I think Musk understands that there is butt-clenching regulation coming down the line from the EU and the UK, and so he's placing himself in a position where he can say they're punishing me because I spoke against them.
Resistance and Musk's candid feedback have propelled a growing movement of people who are tired of being disregarded for numerous. This isn't around legislative issues, it's around battling for the values that characterize Britain: flexibility, autonomy, and a commitment to decency. Clarkson's exchange and Musk's strong explanations are updates that alter is conceivable when individuals talk out. Elon Musk's association has brought glob consideration to the UK's political climate from his base in Silicon Valley to the bars of country Britain. Musk's comments have started talks distant past British borders.
Like, basically, we want to send a message to the politicians to say that the people care about the Constitution, because there have been all these attacks on the Constitution. They've been, especially on the Democrat side, they've been repeatedly saying that the First Amendment is an obstacle, and they're claiming, oh, the First Amendment is enabling disinformation, misinformation. And I'm like, yo, there's a reason for the First Amendment. Like freedom of speech.
Pioneers and citizens from other countries are addressing how a government that once symbolized steadiness and vote-based system might take off its individuals feeling so disappointed. This universal highlight has moreover reignited wrangles about approximately free discourse and person rights. Clarkson's capture, whether legitimized or not, has ended up an image of the broader battle against government over each Musk. As somebody who champions these rights, all-inclusive, has situated himself as a protector of those who set out to challenge specialist Musk's tweets. Didn't fair reverberate with agriculturists, and the working lesson they too found back among compelling figures in different businesses trade. Pioneers, performers, and indeed a few lawmakers have reverberated his opinions, criticizing the government for its disappointment to address the developing distress.
So, you know, like there's crazy stuff happening in the UK where you know, people are getting like 2-3 year prison sentences for Facebook posts. Visit Britain, because they're gonna like drag out some tweet and say 2 years in prison for this tweet or something bullshit like that, you know. So anyway, I think that's, you know, with Trump elected, we can put a stop to that stuff and say, like,
one striking supporter was a conspicuous financial specialist who tweeted Musk's comments could seem questionable, but they highlight a reality numerous of us have been cautioned around for a long time. The UK's administration is out of touch with its individuals. This swell impact is making a joined-together front of voices requesting Alter Clarkson's Cultivate, which got to be celebrated through his TV arrangement, has turned into a microcosm of the challenges confronted by British agriculturists, from exploring intemperate directions to managing with startling charges. Clarkson battles reflect the everyday fights of thousands of agriculturists over the UK. His choice to boycott K-Stama from his Cultivate wasn't fair. A reputation stunt, it was a capable message that reverberated profoundly with provincial communities for them. Clarkson isn't fair a celebrity, he one of their possessed, battling against the chances to keep his vocation intaglio as open dissatisfaction comes to a bubbling point. The question on everyone's intellect is evident: can Keir Starmer hold on to his position as pioneer, with petitions picking up footing dissents, developing bigger and universal figures like Musk? Increasing the call for Alter Starmer's grasp on control appears progressively shaky. Musk's association has included an unused layer of criticalness to this address. His study has encouraged standard citizens to talk out, creating a groundswell of restriction that Saint's government cannot disregard, is confronting a phenomenal storm of feedback from all corners of society. Ranchers are challenging against what they see as unjustifiable assess arrangements. Retired people are incensed over cuts that jeopardize their money-related security and working class. Britons are reviving against a government they feel has turned it back on them. This dissatisfaction isn't limited to country zones or particular socioeconomics. It's spreading over the country from city lanes to town squares. Individuals are joining together in their call for responsibility with Musk's tweets. As the backfire develops louder, Keir Starmer has been constrained to address the mountain reactions, but numerous contend his reactions have been insufficient. His endeavors to console the open with guarantees of approach changes have been met with skepticism. Individuals are tired of hearing purge words and dubious plans. They need activity, and they need it. Presently, Saint's later addresses have fizzled to suppress the developing turmoil. His center on bureaucracy and his endeavors to conciliate corporate interface have, as it were, advanced distance the exceptionally individuals he must back him. The more he tries to plate the elites, the more he separations himself from the working class citizens who are the spine of the country. Musk's impact on this issue cannot be exaggerated. His vocal feedback has given a reviving cry for those who feel sidelined by the government. His bolster for Clarkson has too brought the issue to a worldwide range, making it outlandish for Starmer to disregard the address remains. Can Starmer rescue his authority, or is it as well late with open requests for alter coming to a fever pitch? It's getting to be clear that the days of Keir's authority may be numbered. His approaches, his tone, and his disengage from the individuals are all contributing to a sense of direness for his acquiescence. The developing appeal, the gigantic online bolster for elective administration, and the vocal restriction from open figures like Elon Musk paint a terrible picture for Starmer, as this wave of disappointment surges more MPS, and compelling figures are likely to connect the refrain calling for his acquiescence. The truth is the open now not trust his capacity to lead. And with the nation confronting various challenges, they can't bear to hold up any longer for a pioneer who doesn't appear to get it. Their torment, the weight is mounting, and the weight doesn't appear to be going absent as this political storm proceeds to brew. It's clear that the UK is at a junction. The administration of Keir Starmer is beneath strongly examination, and the pressure on him to act is coming to basic levels. His disappointment to put through with the individuals, combined with the developing discontent over his arrangement, has cleared out him powerless to calls for his renunciation. Elon Musk's association has included an unused layer of criticalness to the circumstance, opening up the disappointments of millions who feel their voices are being disregarded, and as the open proceeds to rally behind pioneers who guarantee alter the weight on Starmer to step aside, is as it were developing the address. Presently is, will the UK proceed down this way of political stagnation, or will it grasp the plausibility of a modern heading end? Of the is UN certain, but one thing is evident, that individuals have had sufficient, and they are requesting alter the time. For alter is presently, in case you accept, it's time for unused authority, talk up. Share this video, connect the discussion, and let's request the alter that the UK merits. Do not disregard to subscribe to the channel and hit the notice chime to remain overhauled on the most recent improvements.